You delegated the task. They didn't do it. So you stayed up until midnight and did it yourself. Welcome to episode 3. This is what no one tells you, the podcast where we skip the management theory and get to what actually works when you're dealing with real people and real problems. My name is Claudia and I spent 18 years in HR leadership, watching managers struggle with the same stuff over and over. Last episode, I promised you the delegation matrix that changed everything for me, and I'm going to give it to you. But first, let me tell you why you probably don't need it. Here's the thing about delegation that nobody talks about. Most managers think their problem is they don't know how to delegate. So they look for frameworks, matrices, systems. And yeah, I'll give you one in a second because it's useful. But your real problem isn't the delegation. Your real problem is what you do when someone says yes and then doesn't follow through. And what do? You rescue them. You finish the work yourself at 11 p.m. because the business can't afford for it not to happen. That's the conversation you're avoiding. The one where you say, I can't keep saving you. So today you're getting both, the framework and how to break the rescue cycle, because one without the other is useless. Alright, here's the matrix. Super simple. 4 boxes. High urgency, high importance. You do this yourself. Don't delegate your actual job. High urgency, low importance. Delegate this, but give clear instructions and a tight deadline. Check in once. Low urgency and high importance. This is the development zone. Delegate to someone who needs to grow. Give them space but schedule check-ins. And low urgency and low importance, automate it, delete it, or give it to someone as a learning task. Write that down if you want. It works. I used it for years. But here's what I learned. The matrix doesn't solve your problem, because your problem isn't categorizing tasks. Your problem is that you delegated something from that second or third box, someone dropped it, and now you're finishing it yourself at midnight while your family is asleep. The matrix failed because you've become their safety net, and they know it. Let me paint you a realistic picture. You delegate a quarterly analysis to Martin, due Friday for Monday's leadership meeting. Thursday afternoon, you check in. Martin, how's the analysis coming? Yeah, working on it. Should be ready. Friday, 4 p.m. You ask to see it. Almost done. I'm just finishing the last section. You'll have it by the end of today. 6 p.m. You check your email. Nothing. You message him. Sorry, the data from finance came late. I'll have it first thing Monday morning. And here's what you actually do. You go home, you have dinner with your family, and at 10 p.m. you open your laptop and you finish the damn report yourself. Because you can't walk into Monday's meeting without it. Monday comes. You present the analysis. Martin attends the meeting. Nobody knows you did his work. Most managers stop there. They rescued, they're annoyed, they move on. But here's what just happened. Martin learned that if he doesn't deliver, you'll save him. And you learned that you can't trust him with important things. This is where you need to act. Not the third time, not when it's a pattern. Right now. The first time. Because if you don't address it immediately, it will become a pattern. Monday morning, before anything else, you have the conversation. Not 3 weeks later and not in your next one-on-one. Now. Martin, I need to talk about Friday's analysis. I ended up finishing it myself over the weekend because we couldn't go into Monday's meeting without it. Help me understand what happened. Then stop talking. Let him explain. Don't interrupt and don't fill the silence. He'll tell you about the data from finance, about competing priorities, about whatever went wrong. Listen and actually listen. Then acknowledge it and set the boundary. I understand the data came late. That happens. Here's what I need you to know. I can't do this. I can't finish your work at midnight because you missed a deadline. It's not sustainable for me, and honestly, It's not fair to you because you're not learning what happens when commitments aren't met. This is the part most managers skip. They either don't say anything at all, or they jump straight to anger without acknowledging the person's explanation. You need both. I heard you, and this can't happen again. Going forward, if you commit to Friday and something comes up, I need you to tell me by Wednesday, so we have options. Either we adjust the deadline, or we redistribute the work, or we go into the meeting with partial data and explain why. Those are real options. That's not an option for me to find out at 6 p.m. Friday that it's not done. Pause. Can you commit to that Wednesday heads up? Wait for a yes. A real yes. Not a, yeah, sure, while they're looking at their phone. Eye contact and verbal commitment. Now let's say 3 weeks later, same situation. Different project, but Martin misses another Friday deadline. No Wednesday warning. You find out Friday evening again. This time, you don't rescue. You send him a message. Martin, the client briefing was due today and I don't have it. We have two options. We go into Tuesday client meeting without it and you explain why, or I reassign this client to Anna tonight and she recovers the meeting. Which one do you prefer? Notice what you're doing. You're making him choose his consequence. Neither option includes you rescuing him. If he scrambles and gets it done over the weekend, fine. But Tuesday morning, you still have the conversation. Martin, let's talk about the briefing. 3 weeks ago, we agreed you'd give me a Wednesday heads up if you couldn't make a Friday deadline. That didn't happen. This is now twice in a month I've either had to rescue your work or we've nearly gone into a meeting unprepared. That's the pattern I'm seeing. Now you name it. Second time, pattern. I need to be direct with you. If this happens a third time, I'm permanently reassigning this type of work. Not as punishment, as logic. I need someone reliable on client-facing deliverables, and right now, that's not you. I believe you can be that person, but I need to see change starting now. Then you outline the new reality. For the next 2 months, I need daily check-ins on any deadline-driven work. Just a quick message each morning, what you're working on, what's on track, what's at risk. And if you miss the Wednesday warning again, the work automatically goes to someone else. No discussion, no rescue, just redistributed. This isn't micromanaging. This is rebuilding trust. When someone breaks a commitment, they get less autonomy until they earn it back. If the pattern continues, and sometimes it does, you don't fire them. That's not realistic for most situations. What you do is gradually remove autonomy. Third time, after the conversations, they miss another deadline. You immediately and permanently reassign that specific project type to someone else. Calmly and no drama. Martin, since the pattern with deadline-driven client work hasn't changed, I'm moving that responsibility to Anna. You'll focus on the operational reports where you've been consistent. This isn't punishment, it's logic. They've shown they can't handle that responsibility, so they don't get it. And if it continues beyond that, you're having a different conversation. One about whether this role is the right fit. But most people don't get there, because losing autonomy hurts. It's quite visible and their colleagues notice. They notice, and usually that's enough. After any of these conversations, send a brief email. Martin, thanks for the conversation today. Just to confirm that going forward, I need Friday deadlines met or a heads up by Wednesday if there's an issue. If this pattern continues, I'll need to reassign client-facing work to ensure reliability. I'm confident you can turn this around. That last line is important. You're not building a case to push them out. You're being clear about the expectations and showing you believe they can meet them. This email does 3 things. 1. It confirms that both you and him heard the same thing. 2. It creates a paper trail if needed later. And 3. It ends on a forward-looking note, not a threat. In European cultures, this written clarity matters even more. We value directness, but we also value documentation and process. Now, here's what nobody wants to hear. If you're rescuing the same person repeatedly, even after these conversations, you have to ask yourself a hard question. Why are you still doing it? Is it because you hired wrong and don't want to admit it? You're conflict avoidant and rescue feels easier than confrontation? You actually don't trust anyone else to do it your way? You get some satisfaction from being the hero? I've seen all of these. I've been all of these at different points. The truth is, chronic rescuing isn't kindness. It's not good management. It's you preventing someone from experiencing the consequences of their choices. And in doing that, you're preventing them from growing. At some point, you have to let people fail small so they don't fail big. Or you have to accept that this person isn't right for this role and make a change. Endless rescuing helps nobody. Not them, not you. Not your family who sees you working every weekend. So here's what you're walking away with today. The delegation matrix, use it. It helps you think clearly about what to hand off. But remember, the matrix is the easy part. The hard part is stopping the rescue cycle when people don't follow through. Have the conversation immediately, the first time it happens. Set clear expectations with that Wednesday warning rule. If it happens again, don't rescue. Make them choose the consequence. Name the pattern clearly and gradually reduce autonomy if nothing happens. And remember to document for clarity. And if you're still rescuing the same person after all of that, ask yourself why. Because at that point, the problem isn't them anymore. Your job isn't to do everyone's work. Your job isn't to be the hero who saves every deadline. Your job is to build a team that delivers without you having to rescue them. Sometimes that means uncomfortable conversations, and sometimes it means removing responsibilities. Sometimes it means accepting someone isn't right for the role. But here's what I know after 18 years. The managers who keep rescuing end up exhausted and resentful. These managers who have the conversation and follow through, they actually get to go home at 6 p.m. So pick one, rescue forever or have the conversation. Now you know, because I told you.